Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. This is day one of OWCC 2025, and we are delighted to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining. Let us know where you are joining us from in the comment section, probably the city or the country. Let us know where you are joining us from in the comment section. Probably you can just put the name of your country or the name of the city. So someone is joining from Wuhan, Sierra Leone, from China, from Nigeria, from Liberia. Thank you for joining. Someone is joining from Madagascar. Someone is joining from Thailand. Chendao, China people, Nanjing, Chile, Endo, Xi'an, Nanjing. Thank you guys and welcome. This is day one. So without much, you can keep sending that in the comment section. We will come back to it. And thank you for joining. Okay. I'm sure all the volunteers are on the standby. You have any problem, please send a message in the comment section. There'll be volunteers to respond to your questions or concern. If you have any question also. So like I said, this is day one. Welcome. If you can see me and also if you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section if you can see me and also if you can hear me so that I know I'm not talking to myself. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mohammed. All right. That's good. So I will just call on one of the volunteers, Jala Gibson. He has served as a volunteer probably on 3 other editions, and it's very hardworking volunteer as well, trying to make sure that we are where we are today, helping in securing the platform and doing a whole lot. So Jala, if you are there, you can officially welcome us. He has been with us for a long time now, on probably 3 other editions. Jala?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all. Today is our first day of OWCC, and I would like to welcome you all to day one of OWCC 2025. We are pleased to extend a warm welcome and appreciation to you as participant of this training. On behalf of our dedicated team, we applaud your passions and commitment to expanding your knowledge in the exciting field of ICT, engineering, research, etc. Thanks so much for joining us as we develop, build, connect, and impact our community and the world. You all are welcome to OWCC 2025.
All right, so officially we are welcome to OWCC 2025. If you are glad to be here, just let us know in the comment section that I'm glad. I just put glad or I'm glad or whatever you can put there. If you are excited for this week-long journey. Officially in China, many of the universities have already started their winter vacation. So at this time, many students don't have classes or academic work, maybe except for those that are still doing research on their other things. But at this time, many of us don't have classes. So it's a perfect time. And for those back home in Africa and other places, I'm sure for some of you it's in the afternoon, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, well, in your location. I want to say good morning and good afternoon to you here in China, it's after 7 in the evening. So probably China is ahead of you, 7 hours, 8 hours, 5 hours, and the rest more. So let me see if I can play this video. Okay, this guy. Yeah. Probably I will share this video in the.
Okay.
I'll share this video in the group later on to avoid probably any sort of technical difficulties. So I will share that video in the group, and it's also on TRT website. It's also on TRT website. You can as well follow from there. So from my end, officially, I want to say welcome once more, and we are so glad to be here at this time. Some of you joining from a very far distance, and as well you have internet or other issues, but you still make it up your duty to be here today. We are excited, and we want to say you are wholeheartedly welcome. So today we have 2 speakers speaking to us. On every day we'll have 2 speakers on different topics. We're going to try as best as possible to correlate the topics or the discussion so that there can be a little bit of relationship between the first speaker and the second speaker. So today is no exception, and from all indication, I think the speakers are already online. So we'll be taking them very shortly. But let's also drill you through other things that we want you to know about as we move along. If you have any question at any point in time, volunteers are also in the group. You can send your question or anything you have. They'll be able to respond to you in probably seconds. Also, this video, you have seen it, is also on TRT website. It's the survey system. You will have to fill in this survey form on the last day, which is the 6th. That will be the 25th. You have to fill in this form. If you're not in the WhatsApp group or any other places, we'll get to that shortly. You have to fill in this form to give us a feedback. That way we can also improve on whatever we are doing. There are different questions and different things that are captured in the form that's going to help us to plan the next edition. So please, it is mandatory. At the end of it, you have to put your full name. The name you're going to put will be the name that we're going to use on your certificate. We'll also cross-check that with the name that you also register with. So on the 6th, you have to fill in that form, and then we'll also reconcile that with your attendance. In order to get a certificate, you have to attend 5 of the 6 days or all of the 6 days. So those that are not here today, they already missed 1 day. That means they have to attend the remaining 5 days for them to be qualified to get a certificate. So by just registering or joining and leaving, that does not guarantee you that you're going to get a certificate, because we want to give certificate to people that were part of the program, people that follow whatever we did. So that's just one part. The attendance for each day, in case you want to know how will you verify that you were in attendance, we will send the PDF record in the WeChat group and also in the WhatsApp group. So you can check that record every day, we'll send it, and then you can also verify your attendance for that day. In case you have any problem, the videos of each day will be uploaded to TIT YouTube channel. You can as well go there and you cross-check, pause the video at where you see yourself at the end of the day, and then we can also rectify our mistakes by not recording you for that day. So you have to stay at the end of the program. Attendance will be taken at the very end of the program. It does not matter if you join the program and you leave at a certain point in time and you be like, oh, I was there. Attendance will be taken after the last speaker at the end of the program. Every day, attendance will be taken at the end of the program. Those that have been joining the other editions, they already know about this, but since we have 60% of the people joining this time are new people, we take attendance at the end of the program, because it's understood that somebody might just come and go and all of that. So we take that attendance at the end of the program. Those that will come later on, Probably we missed this information, but we try as best as possible to repeat ourselves as we move along. So after filling in the survey form on the 5, moving to the 6, you will get this interface. There you can be able to click to download your certificate, and you can as well follow any of our social media or all of our social media platforms, especially the YouTube, where the recordings will be placed there as well. If you're also on IG, WhatsApp, wherever you are, you can as well follow. So currently, there is an admission process ongoing for Hoha University. So since you are here, probably you yourself want to apply for a master's or PhD preferably, because the bachelor program is in Chinese, taught in Chinese. You have to go to classes with Chinese students, which is probably difficult for you if you're the first time coming to China. So it's preferably for the master's and PhD candidates. You can apply to Hoa University, there where I am. The 2 of the 3 campuses that Hoa currently have, 2 in Nanjing and 1 in Changzhou, 2 different cities. So you can apply, and the link to apply is there. You can also see it there as well. We also share all of this information on our social media platforms. That's one of the reasons why we encourage you to follow, because there you can also see all of what we are doing and all of what we are sharing. So application started since November 13, and it will end April 10. But the earlier you apply, the better. The earlier you apply, the better. And if you are applying, you can also let us know, because I'm serving as one of the admission ambassadors for the school. So I can as well give you my details, and you can use it as your recommender. That way I can also track your application and also give you updates, give you feedback on your application where needed. That's another thing as well. So when you want to apply, just reach out to us, and we're going to give you these details. We also share this information as well on all of our social media platforms. We have a lot of people registering for the program from different countries. And this data was also shared also on our website. You can take your time and go through it thoroughly and to analyze probably other things that we have presented from the registration data. So this is how your certificate is going to be. We're going to give certificates to the participant. We're also going to give certificates to the speakers and volunteers. So starting with the participant, you can see on the certificate, we try to reduce the number of words, because if you have been following the WeChat group, a couple of months ago, someone suggested that we try to limit the words that we put on the certificate. So we try to adhere to that. And it's something that we also try to do, to follow your suggestions and your recommendations to improve the program. That is one reason why we brought up the survey form, so that we can hear more from you. Also on this certificate, you have the ID and your name. You also have a QR code there to verify the certificate. You can verify your certificate, or you can download your certificate on the last day. Effectively, the last day we start to do that process. Visit TIT website, we'll show you shortly. You either import your last name. For example, this person, just an example, we use Mary Brown. The last name is Brown, so you can use Brown in the search area, and then the PDF version of the certificate will be made available to you. Also, you can type in your certificate ID, and your certificate will be made available to you. But since you don't know your ID initially, you can as well use your last name. Also, if you register for the program, in the registration information I was sent, there was one confirmation number as well. That's also linked to your ID, so you can as well use it. But preferably your last name would be better, since it's easier for you to remember and easier for you to spell. So these are 2 ways to download your certificate. They will all be there on the last day. As fast as we can be, we always try to give certificate right after the program ends. You're not going to wait for 1 month, wait for 1 week before you start to receive your certificate. That's one thing about TIT. This is the website or the interface of the certificate download. So you just come here and then you input your last name. Everything is there. It's well detailed. If you have any problem, then you can email us. We're going to check from our end, and also provide your certificate just in case we have not uploaded your certificate to the system. These are the speakers we have for this edition. Each day we're going to have 2 of them. So today we'll be having 2 powerful and important speakers that's going to be sharing with us today. So each day we're going to have 2, and then I will also have one of the days or 2 of the days to talk about data visualization, advanced data visualization, because we have conducted other classes on data analysis. So we want to now step it up to advanced level. So we're also going to be doing that as well. So hopefully by the end of this program, you should be able to write your research proposal, your thesis, your whatever it is. Also know how to submit it to the journal for publication. You will also be able to know how to analyze your own data and more other things you will be able to do at the end of this program. So for the other social media platforms, if you say you are not in the WhatsApp group, that's a QR code. You can scan that QR code or just take a screenshot now. Later on, you can go to WhatsApp. Once you open that image on WhatsApp, WhatsApp will automatically scan it for you. Almost like try to make an attempt like you're sending it to someone. Any of your friends on WhatsApp, sending that picture or that screenshot to the person, WhatsApp will automatically scan that QR code and you can join the group directly. We have also opened an Instagram page. You can follow us on Instagram, TIT Network _, and you find us there. That's also our website, titnetwork.org. You can also follow the website, and every other details will also be shared there. We have a WeChat group that is already more than 400 people, so we cannot share the QR code of the the WeChat group. Instead, the one you see there is mine, the WeChat group. That's my QR code. If you scan it, I will also add you to the group directly. We also have a WeChat channel, but we also post videos and other things as well. If you're in China, preferably, you can use the WeChat channel. We also have a YouTube page. You can search for TIT there or at TIT6299. You can find us on YouTube. All of the videos from the previous programs we have had, they are all on the YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. So you can also follow any of them with the name there, TIT Network or TIT Your Niche Technology, and then you should be able to find it from there. So you can take a screenshot of that. You can take a screenshot of that, and at the end of the program, later on, you can try to follow. The last edition, we have something like this, and I thought it was to also do the same. This time around, we already discussed it with the team, and they gave a positive feedback as well, that we should also do the same. So beginning today, you can use the WeChat group or the WhatsApp group and form your team. We need 5 persons on each team, and we need 4 teams. We need 4 teams, and then the topic will be shared so that both teams can prepare in advance. You can make new friends. That's one of the essence of it. Connect with other people, create a group, and tell people like, oh, I'm preparing for this. If you want to join our team, currently we are 3. We need 2 more persons. That way you can also join a specific group, and then we're going to share the topic. You guys can prepare. The last time we had this, this was the topic, and these are the teams that we had for the last edition. I think that was the 5th edition. So we're going to do the same this time. It's going to be on the last day of the program. On the last day of the program, we're going to do the same here. So that way we can also hear from you or make you feel a part of the program as well. Lastly, like I said, we're going to take attendance at the end of the program. We're going to take attendance at the end of the program. So please stay until the end of the program. If you leave at any point in time, we will not consider that as you've been present. So during that process of the attendance, we will also record it. And that recording will also be on YouTube. You can go there and watch the video. If you think you are not capturing the attendance, then you can pause that video and identify yourself. That's what we also say, use your real name. Use your real name. Some people are still using one name and all of that. So use your real name, please. So without much delay, I will invite Jala to introduce our first speaker for today. Let me see if here you can, Jala, you can go ahead and introduce the speaker. Let me see if the speaker is already here
Okay.
with us. Speaker number one. Okay, I can see him here. Yeah, so Jala, you can go ahead. So while Jala is introducing the speaker, um, honorable speaker, you can, it's not a parliament, but honorable speaker, you can try to share your screen and get ready while you have been introduced. Okay. Let me also see if I can pin you to the screen. Yeah, Jala, you can go ahead. I think, Jala, we cannot hear you. If you are there, we cannot hear you, Jala.
Hi. See you.
Yeah.
Can you please check your inbox, please?
WeChat or also?
WeChat.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much delay, we're going to have our first speaker for today. And Jala will just take it up from here. We're going to have our
Okay.
first speaker for today. So, that person is no other but a friend and a brother. Um, I will call him from the BH, an academician. He's Christian Mulbah. And today he's going to be speaking to us on literature retrieval and utilization. He's a PhD researcher from Jiangsu University here in China. So please give it up for our speaker. Do your love emoji or whatever way you can welcome our speaker. Just show some love to our speaker. And honorary speaker, you can proceed from there. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes. We can hear you. We can see your screen.
Okay. Thank you, my brother Orlando. You have given me a qualitative introduction, so I'll just go straight into the presentation. And I hope, if possible, you guys can have maybe a research work along computers as we will go through the literature retrieval and utilization, which I think is an essential piece of the whole research journey. So I'll quickly go into my presentation for today. So the contents today we will be looking at, we'll give a little bit of introduction to the literature, then we will go into literature retrieval, and we will do literature organization, and then we will show you methods to use the literature we have retrieved, and then I think it will be a day. So quickly, let's start with defining the terms. When we say literature retrieval and utilization, we talk about the processes of identifying, accessing, and kind of like applying your scholarly resources that kind of like support the academic research that you're doing, maybe for academic or maybe professional activities. So the two words, literature retrieval and literature utilization. The literature retrieval, we talk about maybe the systematic process of searching for, selecting, and maybe like acquiring the relevant academic texts, like your research papers, research articles, like books, like conference proceedings, theses, etc. So utilization, on the other hand, focus on the effective integration of that retrieved material that can be used in maybe your research activities. So it will encompass the whole process of maybe synthesizing your key insight for your research, maybe critically analyzing various research or the experimental work that you have done, and maybe identifying those knowledge gaps and then incorporating it into your research to build your kind of narrative or maybe to build a professional practice. So the importance here is that I build the research quality and then research credibility and research originality. This is very important. If you want to really maybe do a unique research, because to publish a paper, you need to produce a novel result. So that novel result should be something of high quality, credibility, and it should be original. So effective literature retrieval will provide the fundamental basis of framing your research questions. If you have framed the research question properly, then literature utilization will support the development of innovative solutions that will be produced from the research that you have done. So I have a quick question, maybe 30 seconds, anybody can come in with an answer. I want to know what challenges you have faced in accessing academic literature. Anybody?
Yes.
Come
Hello.
again.
Anybody?
Ask the question again.
Experience?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. I am Barry from Wuhan. Challenges in retrieving literatures are many in different kinds. But for me, specifically from experience, I usually face the challenge of searching for literatures, and most times you get the outcomes or the outputs that you get are most likely not specific to what you're searching for. Probably they come in very broad terms and they are not specific. So the area of you putting them into your own context, into your own specific area that you want this literature you're searching for is one of my biggest challenge.
Okay. Thank you for that contribution. Actually, we later on in the presentation we'll go through something called boarding operators. I will show you ways in which you can identify key phrases in your research, and I'll also show you maybe techniques, combination techniques like and, or, not, and maybe important combinations you can use to uh, collect your research keywords and then put it in a machine. I don't care to know what kind of machine you're using. Maybe we're using, for example, we're using Science Direct. I will show you how to maybe input your literature in such a way that you can maximize your result, and then maybe you can get an efficient result that is not maybe just all over the place for the lack of terms. Because sometimes you may look for certain things and you just get a lot of results that make it very overwhelming. So we'll go through that later on in our presentation. Thank you for your contribution. So the objectives of today we have few objectives of today's study. The main objective is to retrieve literature efficiently. As somebody just said that there are a lot of problems in literature retrieval. Sometimes when you're retrieving a literature, it becomes abundant. As I just said, maybe we can look for ways and then maybe suggest some strategies in which you can maybe make the literature as efficient as possible. So the objective would be effectively retrieving literature data. Another objective will be showing you some best practices in organizing and utilizing your literature. This is very helpful and it saves you time by showing you maybe like techniques for organizing your research and systematically using naming conventions or using some softwares that will optimize your organization of the research that can make your time efficient and make it less burdensome so you can just go directly to what you want to do. Next, the last point here is understanding how literature enhances the overall quality of your research. we have a lot to do, so I don't want to run, but we will a little bit speed up from this point. If I'm going too fast, please tell me, then I'll slow down. So we want to understand the concept of literature. So we're saying literature is the record of all carriers of knowledge, like from the oracle bone, the baboon slave, those are materials that were used by ancient people to maybe craft information for the future. And like a stone tablet, if you're a Christian, you know that of Pharaoh, Moses, and the Ten Commandments, I think that's a huge reference point. So what they did is that during those days, they never had a computer and other sophisticated instrument of marking data. So like the stone, they'll use the stone to craft information. We also have microfilm here, those to keep photographic evidence, and tapes. The tapes are used to maybe keep audio version of recorded data to be used maybe in a court proceeding, or maybe in the 80s to bomb a city and be doing hip hop stuff. I think we all know that. And we also have discs for those who like the African show and Indian show business. We used to use discs to imprint information like a movie. You can use it to save maybe you can use it to save photos, you can use it to save documents, but most of all know this takes to be something we can use for music or maybe show, African show. And we also have these arrows. These are all carriers of knowledge. So the role of literature, there are very important role of literature I want to maybe stress on. I'll stress on three. The three main roles of literature. One is establishing context and credibility. So, context and credibility will have to do with understanding the foundational theories and concepts. When you are doing maybe literature retrieval, you need to know the concept of the literature you are retrieving. You need to know the position within the scholarship framework that you are working on. And you also need to work on building credibility of your literature. That means citing authoritative sources that will strengthen the validity and reliability of your study. So that's why proper citation and other things are very, very essential in this case. Next, I want to talk on the gaps to identify existing gaps. It's very important in research because in order to publish a paper, you need to find a gap and you need to contribute to that gap. And that contribution will serve the whole scientific community. If your paper is not novel, it will not be published in a reputable journal. You can just publish any paper, then nobody will cite the paper, then you just do your work for nothing. Oh, I published this paper. After 3 years, I get full citation. After 5 years, I got 3 citations. So uh, identifying existing gap is very important. So you can do a gap analysis. Maybe you can review the scope and limitation of all the existing studies that remain unexplored or underexplored in your field. You can also maybe formulate your research objectives. This is very important in identifying your gap. When you use insight in the literature to define a clear objectives and you can formulate your research objectives. You can also use some hypotheses and some methodologies that have not been used before that will maybe solidify your literature retrieval if you have found a gap in that study. Now, the next thing I want to talk on is question. We should always use maybe question. We should always solve questions to maybe, if we use question based, we can solve new research problems. So we should always start with why is this question, if it's unresolved at the beginning of my literature and is resolved at the end of my literature, we have contributed immensely. Now, what constitutes literature? There are primary, secondary, and tertiary aspects of literature that I will go through later on. We will go through them later on, but we should understand that the journal and the review papers are the fundamental cornerstones of academic literature. So the journal are novel papers, as I just said, and the reviews will be like analysis and summary of maybe a combination of papers. And there are other tertiary sources that we'll go through later on. So let's run in a retrieving process. Now there are many ways to retrieve literature depending on the resources you have. Firstly, we will search for literature materials with VPNs. Now, most of the materials we see, most of the sources we see, they are not free. They are very costly. So most of our institutions have paid for these resources. But however, if you are not maybe associated with an institution, or maybe you are a freelancer, or you just home getting ready for your study and you don't have access to journal VPN, there are a few ways you can use maybe open access platforms. There are many open access platforms. The whole accessing database is very, very essential to retrieve your literature. So for the open access platform, we have PubMed, the Central. This one is a medical journal. And for the Central, the PubMed Central, they are the ones that are maybe like mandated by the government to be free. So the government allocated resources to it. So many of the materials they are free. We also have ResearchGate. Some of the materials they are free if the author make literature available. And we also have SCR Hub. This is a controversial uh, website that is very helpful to researchers. Many people use it because the method they are using here is to actually bypass the protocol, the natural protocol, the paywalls and everything, and then give you access to the paper, maybe just using a DOI or so. So the other thing we can do is that we can email the authors. Most authors, like most of the papers I've written, if you email me to maybe help you with my paper, I can do it instantly. So most authors are very fascinated in sharing our research. So maybe you can check on a research paper name, the research paper they are writing. You'll see the email on it. Even if you don't have access to that paper, you can send the author an email and then you should have access to the paper. So there are other open access sources like code and what have you, and maybe you can there are open access sources that I've not mentioned here that you can access. So just read on the internet. There are many open access sources if you don't have access to VPN. Now, if you have access to VPN, I think your problem is maybe 90% solved, because you just need to know that you can use the university VPN if you are in the university or if you are out of the university. If you are outside the university, you can use like Open Athens or Sharbolic. Those are platforms that will give you access to your institution VPN while you are outside campus. Now, if you are inside campus, you can use your institution access by maybe the library. You can use the library website, or then maybe you can just go directly to the website, like you go directly to Science Direct, and then you will leverage some institutional credentials that will give you access. So let's run through or retrieving example. So the first data we want to talk about here, we talk about the primary, secondary, and tertiary. We said that one of the primary literature is a journal. Now the journal is a very fast publication kind of like module that deal with continuous publishing and fast reporting. As I said previously, the content have to be novel, and every paper have a unique RSSN, it's a signing number. So some of the favorite journals are listed here below. We have Science Direct, EBSCO, IEEE, Wiley Online, and Emory, etc. So I think what I would do, I cannot go through many now because we don't have time. So I will go through Science Direct first and see if we have time. Then maybe I can optimize and then speed up. So let's run through Science Direct. Let's see how to access the literature, how to retrieve the literature using Science Direct. I'm going to share my screen to another PPT, so just hang on. And then, okay. Okay, this is Science Direct. So for Science Direct, there are two ways. Like we said, the first way is without VPN, and the second way for searching is with VPN. So searching with VPN, there are two ways, there are two methods we can employ. We can actually access directly from the journal database. Like for example, we just tap and go straight to Science Direct, or we do, let me see if I can. I don't know if I have time to maybe manually just do it, or we can just go through. Let me see. So something like this, maybe the next 1 or 2 minutes, I'll see. So we go to Science Direct. I hope you can see my screen. So we will go to Science Direct. Go to Science Direct. What will happen is that you go, they will redirect you maybe straight to Access institution. Or I think, let's see. Okay, this is Science Direct platform. Now we want to search for something here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can check on droplet. So just a quick search, droplet impact, and we want to add dynamics, and we see what happened here. So I'm just going to select NM paper. Now, if you select the paper, what will happen is that you need institutional access because I'm in Jensu University, so they are recommending me that I can access this paper using Jensu University portal directly. So I'll use my ID number and then maybe my password, and I just pass some security protocols here. Then the paper will load, and try to sign in. And then you see I have access to the paper. I can download the paper if I want. So for all the other retrieval would do, I would not do this process over. I'm just trying to do it now so you can see the process. But I've taken screenshot of this process. So I will just explain it to you using the screenshots of the presentation. I'll use PPT to do everything I want to do with this research. So like I did just now, searching by, I'm going to search directly via the journal like I did. So you just put Science Direct account and you click on institutional access. After clicking on it, it will tell you to find your university. I've clicked it before, that's why they just redirected me. They said I'm in Jensu University, but then they will tell you to find your university. If you start to click to tap your university name, you see the university, then you can just click on your school name. Then it will redirect you to the page. As you saw, I did it just now, and you can just log into the page, and then you have access to the paper. Now you see you now have access to the paper via Jensen University. So using the school library, I think most of you, everybody, I want everybody to maybe use the school library because they have a lot of resources there that is very beneficial to you. So you can tap your school library. Maybe if you're in Hoha University, maybe hoha.lab.com, something like that. My library is lab.ugs.edu.cn. So you should search for your library website, and then you can access by your institution library. It's mostly in English, or you can just transfer it, you just send it to English, or then maybe if it's in Chinese, you are confused. This portion in circle here is the resources. You can just click the resources, and then you'll be redirected here. There are many resources here for you, but we deal with journal papers now. So we can see step 2. This is the literature tab, and then the paper here is journal. So we got a whole list of journal platforms that we can use. And for our study, our example Yeah, we need to speed up. Our example now would be using Science Direct, and then you can enter the Science Direct. So if you enter, it will be the same thing. You'll be redirected here, but then you have institutional access. So you can browse according to your discipline, as I'm trying to illustrate here. So if you maybe click physical science and engineering, you see they will redirect you to somewhere where you can click maybe if you want to research on energy. I'm in the School of Energy and Power Engineering, so I selected energy, but you can browse anything that is related to your field. So if we select energy here, we see that there are up to 1,000, almost 1,000 publications or maybe journals that are related to the field of energy. Now if you click the journal here, so the whole publication that energy related books, handbooks, and reference material, etc., is about 1,000. If we click journal, we see about 130, 40 journals that are available at the time we click this. So you can select the kind of journal you are looking for based on everything is like selected here, and then you can search through the paper. Every time you see open access, they are freely and publicly available. That means you don't have to use VPN access. You can just download it if you have internet access. So they are systematically organized. You can search for the journal of interest, and then that's it. So, for example, if you selecting the journal of energy chemistry, you'll be redirected to that journal, and there are many info about the journal that you can see. You can explore the journal contents, and you can do a lot of things to maybe access information about the journal. So we see the latest issue, article in press, and what have you. So if you go to the latest volume, you see all the papers that are there are for my university, for maybe this Cooper's platform. I think they pay for all the journal articles, so you have access to download any article you want. So when you click the download button, you see full access to the paper. Then you can just save the paper. So you can continue to do like that. You can read about the journal. Maybe you want to publish your paper in the journal. When you go on our journal website, you can just click, and then you can maybe check the guideline for authors. And this would be something that you can read, but most efficiently, you can just download one of the papers, then you can just follow the format from that paper, the citing format, the referencing format, and everything you can do. Then if you finish, maybe you get your paper ready. After reading the guideline, you can just maybe submit. So these are author guidelines I went through. Those are the guideline, the submission checklist. And then you can, when you finish with your paper, maybe you do your paper, you do the graphical abstract, you do the highlights, you do your banner strip, and you do all the other necessary things to publish based on the requirement. Then you can submit your paper for publication. But then somebody would teach you this thing after the whole paper processing issue. So yeah, you can also register with the journal that you are very interested in. Like my meta is that, for example, I'm in field of multi-phase flow. So those big journal of International Journal of Multi-Phase Flow, those ones I will subscribe to this journal. Now every issue from the publication will just come directly to my mail. Then I can read it and make fun of it. Enjoy yourself reading or skimming through. So this is the basic research, the simple search materials here. So you can type in the journal name of your interest. If you just type sciencedirect.com, you can go in and type in the journal name of your interest, and then you can see the information. And you can see all the latest publication, or you can maybe have fun with it. You can select the time. Maybe you want to search papers from 2018 to 2025, or from 1990 to 22. Anything you want to do, you can just select. Then you can select if you want a meaning, maybe review paper or research article, or depends on the kind of article you want. So for the advanced search is where the question came in earlier. To optimize your search, you need to use advanced search. Now, if we use advanced search here, we expand the mode fields. We can see a lot of fields here based on the author, the title, the volumes, and other important information. So we can find articles based on the search engines and the materials we use to search. So as long as maybe we put the name of a title in this search box, we will get it. But what we'll not get is that if the name of that title is in a reference section, we will not get the information. So we can search titles, and as long as the titles, the abstract, the keywords of that paper have our searching materials here, the material will show up. Or we can just use maybe an author name. This is very uncommon. People don't use author name. We just search based on our interest, and we are not really based on the author that is that making the publication. So we say for the reference here, as long as the search word appears in the reference section of the paper, it will appear here. So most of the times we use searching by the names and authors. So sometimes you can just use the search by reference. So as I was saying in the previous slide, like from the question that we received first, how to optimize your search engine or your searching. Now we use Boolean logic operator. And the first one I want to introduce here is AND. And we're using the combination of words. So we search before and after. Maybe we're saying multi-phase is before and AI is after. So and will combine the searches of multi-phase and AI. Like the example I give you, power plant and building. So it's A and B. It's A and B. Everything in the middle of A and B, not just A or not just B. So another Boolean operator, this is very important to your research. The another one is the OR. We use the OR for some words that have synonyms. Like for example, I say aluminum. But most researchers don't have that time to be writing aluminum maybe 50 times in a paper. So they just use AL. So to optimize this search, we use alumina or AL. So if alumina or AL is seen in the abstract or is seen in maybe the title, we'll have that result. So A or B will encompass the both of them. Another retrieving operator, Boolean logic operator, is NOT. So, for example, we want to research alumina, but we don't want to have alumina or AL rather. AL is the short for aluminum because most people use it. Now we don't want to search for papers on alumina alloys, which has to do with minerals and other things, or those guys who researching in our fields. We want to maybe we don't want to go to maybe mineral processing. We just want to go to chemical engineering. Only alumina we are looking for. So we'll say alumina or AL, but we don't want alerts. Let me search a thing. If you have any question, anytime, please try to instruct me. And then I've seen some messages. Okay.
There's no question for now, but those that have questions, you can use the feature of raising hand, or you can either type your question in the chat session and then we are going to relay the question. But if you want to speak, preferably, you can just raise your hand so that we can identify you or put it in that order.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're using not, that means we'll say A and not B, as you see in it. So we can use quotation marks for exact operations, like we want exact information. maybe we are researching on bubble hydrodynamics. We don't want bubble dynamics, or we don't want bubble impacting. We want bubble hydrodynamics. We'll put it in quotation mark. Now the operator will go exactly and only for this operation if we use quotation mark.
We cannot see the screen. I don't know if you're sharing the screen. We cannot see it.
Let me see. I'm coming. Just hang on. Let me go back to Zoom. Okay, so this is very important for your research, as I said. I'll try to reshare the screen.
Yeah, or let me see.
Can you see my screen now? Oh, no. Okay, let me go to.
So just a minute, let me.
I will share the screen again. Can you, if you can, see my
screen?
Let
me stop sharing, and that way you can be able to share again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So.
Okay, so we'll attempt to share again.
Try to share. Let's see.
Okay, so I'm sorry guys for the time. I think we just troubleshoot this as soon as possible so we can go back to what we're doing. I think you should be able to see the stream from here. Can you see the stream?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Now we can see it.
Okay, so like I was talking about Zach operator, we use quotation to maybe input the Zach operations. So, like for example, the operation here is information search behavior, like just information search behavior. So we see that the start of writing, and then if you use quotation, you are searching for exact words. So you get exact words in every article you search. Every article you search. So if the word is little bit, maybe anything unrelated that is not exact will not appear. So you see there's more, all the information about this will show up. So you see the plural form, the only exception is that the plural form will show up, and then maybe if it's in capital letter, it will show up because it's not case sensitive. But then all other unrelated materials will not show up. So we can also use asterisk. The function is not available in Sans Direct. I tried it in Sans Direct, it's not available in Sans Direct, but then FSL is available in FSL where you can get result using maybe like the asterisk. When you use asterisk, maybe if you don't use asterisk, maybe you're talking about product, or maybe producing, or maybe productivity, or maybe produce. If we use DUC asterisk, let's see what we got. So we got PRODUC. There's no productivity, there's no producing, no. Asterisk mean we're not interested in more information or any related word, any continuing words. Okay. So I will run through this one. I'll be fast with this one. And we already got the concept. So if we're researching maybe from 2015 to 2018 about maybe aluminum alloy, So we see our research wall will be alumina, alloy, and the cord wall will be alumina and alloy. So we know that our seminar wall will be AL because it's the same thing we're talking about. So if we retrieve the literature, our search term will be alumina or AL and alloy. So we combine it to see. Then if we use this search machine, as we see here, from 2015 to 2018, you can use any, you can play with it. You can use any year you want and any operator you want. But this is an example that is maybe requisite for our illustration. You can maybe select review and research articles if you want, or data articles. So I just search. So you can see you have all the materials here that is related to alumina alloys. And you can select which one you want. Like if you want maybe to select only research article, you see 4,200. You can maybe get unique names that will eliminate other things, that we can use quotation, as we said, that will eliminate most of the materials. So I'll go quickly back to what we're doing. I hope you should please remind me. I'm checking on the time. You should please remind me about my time. So we're going back to our first presentation that we was talking about the joiners. So I've given an example of a joiner paper, which is I think we talk about Science Direct. I think is okay. I also did materials for Wally F school, but then we don't have time to go through this. So let's go to books. So another data and database that is very, very popular is the book. So we use book for systematic discussion of maybe the research results for in-depth analysis. So it's a long publication start. The book is not very short, it's very long, and the transmission and the whole dealing with journals process is extremely slow. And the ISSN is a unique name operator. For each book, for example, this book I'm showing here, this brain injury book, each version of this book have a different SSN. So it's something that we should take into consideration. So I'll just skim through a few or maybe one book database. I'll skim through my R library, and then maybe we can do that for 5 minutes, and then we can come back quick and continue.
So before going there, I think we have two concerns. One person raises a hand, and then another person is asking, are all the databases interpret Boolean operators the same way?
No, but most of it, they are very similar. I think for the examples I show, the and, the or, the not, all of them interpret those the same. But if you go in advanced study of the Boolean operator, there are maybe a few differences from Science Direct to Web of Science and to EBSCO. There are few differences, but then for the major implementation of these operators, they are the same.
Okay. Yeah, one Alpha, if you want to speak, then you can mute yourself and speak while the speaker is transitioning to the next part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hello everyone.
Hello,
yeah, my question here is I'm Alpha Saluba from Freetown, Sierra Leone. From the 3 steps, shouting, organizing of the literature and utilization. From my own point of view, the most difficult aspect here is the organization, how to organize the literature material. Now, I want to know what are some of the strategies to overcome the challenges of accessing these literature materials.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Right now, we are on retrieving the data. After retrieving, then we'll go to organization, then we'll go to utilization. So I will address your question when I'm at maybe organization. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's move quickly to we were talking about books. That's where we ended our discussion before the question. And we'll talk about something like this. We're talking about maybe another type of literature books, and we said that they are very slow processing. The whole process of a book, for example, if you're writing a book, you're not going to just spend a couple of months. Like, you can use maybe few months to write and publish an article or research paper. But for books, you need a longer time because the content is very large, and then also the processing, the editing is very, very long. So it's a long process. So we'll go through a few of the book. So I will just run through this, but we have already done it before, so I'm not explaining. Like, we're accessing directly by the library. Step one is to maybe type your library name and then type resources. Then you can go to step two, the literature tab, where you can just click books. Then you see, if you click books, you see all kind of book platforms. And then we're going to use our lab for now as our library, rather, as our maybe a sample. So if you click it, you'll be able to enter. Then you see a setup like this. Then you can change the language. Most of the times, if you are using Chinese universities, for you in other universities worldwide, I think this is very, very good for you, and it's in English. But for the guys studying in China, and those are maybe universities that are in countries where the primary language is not English, you have to go to change the language. So if you click right here, it's a Chinese word for language. So you can change the language to English. And change to English, then you can browse your subject. Maybe you can browse engineering. See, if you browse about subject, you can see a list of arts, business, education, general health and medicine. I click on science and technology, and then this open where you got agriculture, computer science, engineering, and what have you. So we just click engineering for now, and you see a lot of operator you can play with here that can make you maybe find the materials you want. So in engineering, there are up to more than 1,000 bulk results in engineering. So you can maybe check for the kind of engineering you want. Industrial engineering, chemical engineering, general engineering, transportation. So we click energy and power sources. Forgive me, I'm studying energy and power engineering. So I just give a sample on mostly energy and power engineering. So you can just use maybe whatever discipline you have, you can just click the respective discipline. So you can use the RSBN, or you can just click the paper to download. The information I wanted to give about ISBN here is that they are very different depending on the version, the blending, the language, and the materials or the place of publication. Now, if you click on a book, you have the access to read online, or you can download. So you click on read online, you see it, or you can download. When you download, like, you tap on you can create an account. It's my prof name, on my associate prof. Then you tap an email, Yuan, or you can tap my email and my name. If you are creating a new account, you can do it with anything. Maybe you tap John Brown, and then you tap your email and create a new account. If you create a new account, you put in your password. You can download on any software. Maybe you can download on your desktop computer, your MyLab, or maybe you can download on your iPhone or whatever you want to do. So if you download it, then you need to download maybe Adobe to read the paper. I'm sorry. So you can download the book, and then you have access. After you download, you see the full text, you click, you have access to it. So you can also do advanced search here, the same way we did advanced search on the like the journal paper. You can do advanced search using keywords or matching contents. So here's the example, trying to search solar energy from 2000 to 2018. So press solar power, solar energy, and we should get related subject on that field. And then per year range, we put 2000 to 2018. The language we want is all the papers should be in English. Now the result they will search for the most relevant results, and then we should get accurate retriever. So you see, like, we got PV, solar energy generation, and wind and solar energy, and what have you. So you can use this R library to continue. So next, maybe we look at Spring Link, which is very, very famous. So we can follow the same process to go and enter Spring Link using your university access. Then when you click, you enter Spring Link, and then you can do some simple searching or advanced searching. So simple searching can give you maybe the materials you want. And there are more books in this Spring Link, and they are paid for by your university. So I think it's very important that you make access to it. See, like, they got up to 4,000 book on just a small topic. So as you can see here, the ones that are not paid for, they are locked. Maybe the university have not covered it. The university have not paid, because mostly the university pay for journal papers, but they have coverage with TCs and they have coverage with books and what have you. So you can only preview the material. As you can see, preview, only you click, you read some materials, and then you can download. So if you click preview on it, then you get full access to papers. That means only full access of full text paper will show up. And when you click one of them, you can be able to download and get full access to the book. So you can also do some advanced search. So advanced search, this is why you'll find out, you see, like in the words, you can use maybe all the words, you can use maybe exact phrases. There are many options that you can use to extract the data you want for your book. So, for example, maybe we type solar energy, and we're using asterisk here because we want it to be exact. Not asterisk, but quotation, because we want it to be exact, solar energy or solar power. So the meaning here is that they are either going to give us material on solar energy or solar power, which is the combination of the both of them. So like this kind of result, we get more results. And then if we include preview on it, and we can have access to paper we don't even pay for. So that means we'll only be able to preview. But when we uncheck this preview on it, we can only access full text papers. So you see the more result up to 8,000 plus chapters. So you see all the results here, they have to have solar energy or solar power because we use the quotations. So we'll click the preview only, we have 14 full textbooks. So this is for the books. So we're just running around and teasing our arbiters on retrieving. We're talking about retrieving literature data. We've talked about journal, and then we talk about books. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see, but the only challenge now is the time. We have, like, I think maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. So then, like for you have conference paper, and conference paper, as I say, you follow the same routine. Yeah. So you use conference paper, following the same routine. Dissertation, you can follow the same routine. And an important information, every school have their own dissertation library in the sub library in the school library. So every paper that was published by your teacher, if you graduated from our school, or anybody who have graduated from your school, maybe people in your research field or people related to what you are doing have graduated in your school, that dissertation is in that library. If I had time, I already did the work for it, but then maybe I don't have time to show that. But you can use that school dissertation site to get all the theses. Maybe for Chinese students, it will be in Chinese, only the abstract will be in English. But for foreign student, any foreign student who graduated in or any field related to what you're doing, you will be able to access their thesis. You can also use other English related thesis website that we can go into now. So there are many things like patent. Patent have to do with, maybe it have to be approved by the state. And then it depends on records of invention, and then it reflect on the latest science and technology. So the patent is this way. So you can access using see the kind of patent we have here. So we're moving on to maybe standards, and then is how to get the standards. So let's run over our retriever. So manually, the way I like to retrieve, there are two conventions. One is using the year, the author, and the topic, or then you can just use the author year topic. I like the author year topic, like the example I gave here is Dukes 2007 period dot space, then I put the paper name. Or we can just use the year the paper will publish, honors code, and we can, I think the convention is more popular. But then automatically we can use softwares that are very important, like we use EndNote, Mendeley, reference work, Zotero, and Mendeley are the ones I think I would refer you to use. EndNote is the most sophisticated, but then most cases it's not free. And then, so most people don't have access to it. But Mendeley is the most comprehensive, but the Zotero is more advanced than Mendeley. But you can use any of this, because if you're just coming in the maybe literature retrieval business, you can use any of these sources. And maybe Mendeley will be very helpful because it's just straightforward and it's very easy to use. So the Mendeley, this is if you download the Mendeley, go to mendeley.com, you download on your, you can download anywhere on your MacBook or your desktop. You'll see something like this, and you can, I just try to name all the partners here. So you can install Mendeley on your Microsoft also, and you'll be able to retrieve data. So let's use the literature quickly because we don't have time. So most important thing I want you to understand is the difference between skimming and reading. For example, sometimes I can read about 100 papers a day. It's not magic. So if, for example, if you're reading like 100 papers a day, it depends on what kind of reading you're doing. Are you skimming or deep reading? Because skimming, you can take maybe 1 minute, 30 seconds or so to skim through. I wanted us to open your literature, and I'll show you how to place references or citation, but then I'm just going to talk about it now, and you can visualize it because I have the paper ready, but then we don't have time to do that. So skimming, just going through maybe quick glance of the paper. You just look at the abstract. If you look at the title, it's a similar something to something you're researching. It's a similar topic you're researching, and you just maybe you do a quick glance at the abstract. You go that if you read the abstract, it's really very good. You can look at the method they use. If the method they use is okay, just skim through the figures and then go to conclusion. If that paper is something you want to use, you save it. So like that, you can do 1 minute, 30 seconds, you finish with that paper, 2 minutes. You can do maybe about, if you skim through maybe 100, 200 papers, you may have around 30 papers that are directly related to your field and contributing exactly to your field. Now then you can go through deep reading. Deep reading, you have to read the report in details. And when you go through, you need to really go inside the paper and go with some mindset. There are a few mindset I want you to adopt when you are reading the paper. If you're reading the paper, you need to understand the gap, firstly. If this paper is about whatever you're doing, when you read it, you need to understand how to identify the gap, how to detect where the actor is clarifying some contradiction and making some assumption, and maybe this research follow a broader trend or so. So you need to read with purpose and to understand the critical arguments, finding, and irrelevant research. So this is a typical research paper that deals with the title, abstract, graphical abstract. This one is not necessarily graphical abstract, only sometimes, and some joiners, introduction, material and methodology, research, conclusion, etc. So you need to evaluate the literature quality. For example, if you download a research paper, on the research paper, you'll see the peer review information like the journal impact factor, the credibility of the actor, and the contribution of the actor. And then you'll see the peer review information like the time they wrote the paper, the time they submitted the paper, the time the paper was accepted in revised form, and the time the paper was accepted. So we cannot open the literature to retrieve and evaluate now, but then it's something that I think you should do when you go home. When you not go home, but when you are maybe when you finish with this presentation and listening to this presentation, you have free time, you can go over whatever we have done here. So you'll not be opening the paper to re-examine the citation here. But what I want you to understand is that for the introduction, you need to look at the context of whatever introduction. When you're citing the introduction, you are trying to acknowledge the foundational work of actors and you are trying to identify the gaps. So you need to look for context, and sometimes maybe you say this thing have been done. Okay, maybe we say bubble dynamics have been very important in this and this field. You citing the papers that are related to that field. That's one kind of citation. But then you also need to cite based on a research gap. Maybe I'm researching on why people wear watch upside down. So I need to look for people who wrote about people wearing watch this other way, that other way, and contribute and take all that literature and say, okay, this other person did this paper based on this, and he said this. And this other person talk about research paper and they talk about, yes, I have 5 minutes, okay. This other person did all these materials and this. So you need to contextualize the whole introduction and give us reason why your paper is very, very unique, and also to method and resource and discussion. So proper citation, you need to know when to paraphrase and when to cite. It's very important to not get in trouble. And you need to integrate maybe according to this person if you think you are directly quoting them, like what I tried to notice here. So there are some additional tips. You should use less words. This is very important now. You should use less word where less word need to be used, not more. Like when we're talking, are we exaggerating our Liberian thing? I'm a Liberian, sorry for the international people here. We love to talk about things that are not necessary. But if reviewer think that you're going, just talk, it just maybe writing things that are not related. He's not interested in your paper. That's why they don't really review the paper. They just reject people paper like nobody business. So you need to make sure that the tables, the taxes, everything are very, very concise. And you should try to convince the reviewer not to just tell them about your paper. Convince and not tell. You should also proofread if you are utilizing your paper and avoid contractions. But the other person that's coming, the other facilitator will talk more about paper writing, and you will cover more about utilization, the utilizing aspect, and then maybe we can address any other question in Q&A. So there are some powerful literature materials that are very requisite, like AI, use AI, like site, very important, like Research Rabbit and Semantic Scholar. They help us to maybe do the literature utilization efficiently. So there are a few problems. We have problems with maybe accessing and managing large data, handling technical jargon, and then for you guys who are doing research for the first time, you see an overload of information, and especially the jargon. There are too many technical terms that you'll not be used to. So there are some recommendations that are laid out here, and then you should try to follow them. Like you need to strengthen your literature retrieval or skills by listening to maybe workshop like these, and you need to learn continuously. You also need to collaborate with people who know more than you and maybe work in a team environment. And you also need to seek guidance from people. So the final takeaway that I have is that you should explore maybe advanced tools and, if possible, AI-related tools to help you with organization. I love to use AI to help me with organization. But most people just use AI. Please write this for me. This is very wrong because I don't think they can provide adequate context to what you're doing. If you want AI to list the thing that you want to do, or then help you to organize, I think AI is very good at organizing, help you to grab and handle thoughts. So it's very important. You should also practice effective citation, etc. So I think I have less than 1 minute, and I'll take any question.
All right, thank you so much. So to those still following, let's give it up for our speaker. You can send your thank you messages in the chat section, while we will take at most 3 questions. We'll take at most 3 questions, but meanwhile, please use the comment section to appreciate our speaker. And then if you have any question, please raise your hand. We have Barry Alpha. So Omaru, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much, brother, for this wonderful presentation. I just wanted to ask you, you were at a point like in any of these platform for accessing the literature. For instance, the Science Direct. You mentioned how come you reach the platform to giving your Boeing, like maybe using and or quotation. I could not get it maybe out of. Could you just throw light on that? Where, because for instance, I just opened my Science Direct now, the platform. If I am to search, they give you options, articles with these terms in this journal or book, authors. How did you go? Is it under the advanced search so that you use Boeing or?
Yes, it's under the advanced search.
Okay.
All right, so let's take Lucas. Lucas, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, and thank you very much to TIT. I just want to make a concern with regards to literature retrieval. Like you made mention, like at first you ask, like what are some of the challenges people face in accessing literature? And as mentioned earlier by Dr. Barry, like most times in my own case, I face the challenge of retrieving literature that are like paid version, wherein the authors don't give it like open access. You have to pay before accessing it. So now, like you made mention of the SCI Hub, like a website to use to bypass the paywalls of that purchase of the paper or article you are trying to look at. But most times when you like try to use SCI Hub, there are lots of challenges like login details. There are lots of login details that are required for you to access that paper. And if you decide to send an email to the authors, sometimes it will take a couple of days for them to respond. So are there like critical strategies researchers are to use, most especially in that scenario? Because by just reading the abstract, you can't grasp everything you want, because you can only have the gap of the literature by going through the full text paper. But by just reading the abstract, it's not enough. So are there like strategic points or things that researchers used to do that can help them get those papers as soon as possible?
Yeah, thank you for your question. I have a couple of follow-up question to understand what you're saying. You said SCR Hub, because SCR Hub you don't need to leverage any details. You just need the DOI or the link of the paper, and sometimes the paper is not accessible because it's not available. They cannot break the code. They are actually trying to bypass the subscription. That's why the SCR Hub is doing. So sometimes they cannot successfully bypass the subscription. That is why you cannot access the paper. But in that case, do you have like institutional access to your, to maybe, are you in an institution that you have access to journal papers or what have you?
Yeah, I have. My institution has access.
Yeah, but then if it comes to maybe research article papers, your journal cover most of them. There are few your journal does not cover at all. So for those few, it's very tricky. You can use uh, there are some public repositories that you can use, or but I think emailing the author is the way I usually do. There are few other ways that there are few other maybe techniques that people have maybe come up with, but then they are not very efficient, because if you use maybe ResearchGate, you can actually request the author to give you a paper, but there are some online resources where you can just, maybe there are communities, online Black communities. I will give you the name later on. It's not coming to mind. I know two communities where you can just put in a paper name and they can help you. Even the SCR Hub, if you want a paper, you can put the name of the paper. If you log into SCR Hub, you can put the name of the paper and you say you want it. Anybody who get that paper will upload it for you, then it will give them points. So I usually do this too when I have institutional access. I help people. There are many, sometimes 5,000 people that requesting papers, and when you give them papers, you have points, and then you can use that points to leverage and get new papers. So there are some smart strategy, but the most straightforward way is to use your institutional VPN, because the school pay for all the papers, almost all the papers. And if I did not answer your question correctly, please ask me again.
It's okay. It's
All
clear.
right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful time having you here with us today. So once more, let's give it up for him as we will be gearing up for our second speaker. Let's give it up for him. You can find him in the WeChat group, but then some people are asking if they can be able to get the PPT used. Mr. Mulbah, it is possible. For the video, the recordings will be shared, but the PPT from your end, it is possible.
I will get to you back on this. Since we talk about, maybe I needed to research, I was actually going to present on something else, but this PPT is in the very young stage. I'm still developing it. When I thought about the kind of maybe thing that would interest people, I thought I would do literature retrieval and utilization. But then if I finish the PPT, because it's not finished yet, there are a lot of things that need to be done. I could send a PDF, or then you can tell the students to use maybe the video, because all the string is everything we did today is on a video, but I could prepare a PDF or so, then I'll get to you. Then you can share with them.
Okay. So the video will be shared later on tonight, China time. That will be probably in the evening for those outside of China. The video will be shared on TIT YouTube channel. So please make sure that you are subscribing to the TIT platforms. It's very important. While we get our second speaker ready, we also want to encourage you to support TIT as best as possible. You can serve as a speaker, you can serve as a volunteer, you can serve as a sponsor, you can serve as a partner. In whatever way you want to support what TIT is doing, we are open to that. The emails and our contacts they are shared in the comment section. Also, you can find us in other of the groups. You can reach out to us. And for those supporting or wanting to support, we can also send our own support to you. This is a cap for TIT, and also the shirt I'm wearing here is another one for TIT in black and white and all of that with a pop as well. So supporters can also get support from us. So in however way you want to support, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to do that. Probably you have a business and you want to partner with TIT and you want TIT to also talk about your business in any of our programs, we can also do that. So any way that comes to your mind, you want to support us in cash and kind, whatever way you want to serve as a speaker, volunteer in whatever way, please reach out to us. The second speaker, let me see if he's here. If you are, just maybe you can start to share your screen while I try to find you. Okay, he's already here. He told me he was going to be here at a very long time. All right, that's good. So our second speaker for today would be a friend and brother from around the southern part of Africa. He's a PhD student. He's called Charles. And today he's going to be talking to us basically on article submission. After probably you have already done your literature retrieval and utilization, how do you then submit this article to a journal? So he's going to talk around this aspect of it. And thereafter, we will take our attendance for today. Attendance will be taken at the end of the program. So please do not leave. Attendance will be taken at the end of the program. Attendance will guarantee you getting a certificate. We're not going to give certificates to people that will attend 5 of the 6 days or all of the 6 days. So those who miss today, they automatically, also they have to attend the remaining 5 days. They have to attend the remaining 5 days. If not, don't get a certificate. We have sent a couple of emails here and there to remind people as best as possible. There is no program that I've attended or I've seen that can send a lot of messages or remind people like the way TIT does. So absolutely, there is no excuse. For you that are here, you have to attend at least 4 other days to be qualified to get a certificate. So without much delay, I want to welcome the second speaker, and you can as well welcome him in the comment section by sending in your welcome, your love emoji, whatever emoji you have to welcome our speaker. Honorable speaker, you can take it up from there. You can also test your microphone and your camera. We can see your screen, but we cannot hear your voice and we cannot see you.
Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you now. Let me also try to bring Q to the screen.
Okay.
Maybe you can also put your screen in PPT in full screen. I think it's way in the lower.
Is it fine now?
No, not that. Put it in presentation mode. You can check in the lower corner, the lower left, in the right corner, you'll see something like a television. Okay, yeah, that guy. Yeah, perfect.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kidega Charles. I'm not going to introduce myself much because the CEO has already introduced me. I just want to start present what I've prepared for you this evening here in China. So it's about manuscript submission. My colleague, Doctor, just talk about how you can do away with the literary review. So literature review, that part, okay, like it's not a hand. After you're done with your literature review, you have to submit your paper. It depends on where whether maybe for a thesis or for article publication, you have to you have to submit your paper. So I'll just go into how best can you organize your manuscript, or some of the tips that can help you to what in the process of organizing yourself. So the first one, okay, like it will depend on you. Some students want to publish in the like for PhD, like for this university, they require a PhD student to publish at least SSCI journal paper, that is for social sciences, and then the SCI for sciences. So it will depend where it depends on your field. If you're from social sciences, it's upon you. If you're from sciences, it's also upon that one. So the first thing that you need to do is, number one, excuse me. Okay, the first one, you have to select the right journal, because first of all, the relevance is choosing the right journal that aligns closely with your research topic, the scope, methodology, and then the review. So you have to know that this journal that accept this paper, this kind of research topics. You have to know. You have to, if you go on the website, there's a second part of it where we are going to talk about like I will show you how you can go on the website and try to navigate all this process of submitting your paper. And then also the impact factor also matters a lot. The impact factor, some journals as low, others high. So it depends on you. Like it depends on you. If you want to publish in a high top journal, it also depends on you. You have to choose which one you want. And then the aim and the scope before you submit, because some students, you find them, some students submitting, like for instance, is from education field, but is submitting in law. So sometimes you submit your paper. That's why some students are rejected, because the scope, the aim and the scope of the journal is not the same. It's not aligned with what you are submitting. And then also the abstract and indexing. So for you to avoid, we are going to talk about also the predatory journals and the rest. The abstract, where you have to maybe SSCI, maybe EBSCO, Scopus, the index on the journal, you can also find out clearly. And then also you should adhere to what? To the submission guidelines. The format. Some different journals have their different format. You know, so before you submit, you have to know, like, this journal need this kind of format. So you need to go on the website and find out clearly, like, what kind of format. How should I frame this? How should I frame this? Some journals, because we have so many components of an article, maybe from the abstract to the rest part of it, where we have to put maybe the source of funding. So some journals, they don't want literature review. Some of them, they need literature review. So you need to know the format. And also the manuscript type. So the manuscripts also, it depends. Some of them maybe can be empirical, or can be a review. You know, can be a review, can be like it can also be a case study or methodological paper. So you need to know that one before you can also submit. Otherwise, they will just reject your paper. And then also the abstract.
Honorable Speaker, sorry for injecting. If you don't have much time to cover all of the content, we will probably share the PPT. But if you can probably go a little bit slower, I think some of the participants are saying like you're too fast. So if you can go a little bit slower, don't worry on finishing all of the content. We will probably maybe bring you on another day, or probably share the PPT with them. So just take it easy and take your time.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, and then again, the part of prepare, because like the abstract is like, Doctor just said it, like the abstract is very important. The abstract, and the first thing that they look at. Sometimes you have to have a powerful one, because some of them may not. Some of them, for instance, those who are trying to, like, for the students who are submitting their thesis for blind review. You know, some of the supervisors will just look at your abstract. So you should be able to know the component, or what is composed of this abstract clearly, you know. starting maybe from the concern, the statement of the problem, maybe the methodology, all these ones you have to know, you have to put in the abstract, but just in the highlights way in the first part, not leaving out the not leaving out the keywords, because some students, of course, I'm also a reviewer in one of the journals. You find students, they submit their paper, the abstract is there, but they don't have the keywords. So some of them they will just reject. Oh, do we have a lot of comments? Because these keywords are very important. And then also, the part of you should also make a clear cover letter. Some journal want you to have, they call it the kind of CV, kind of CV. They want you to have to introduce your manuscript. Some journal want you to have the cover letter, introducing your manuscript. And then also, like, you should also be able to disclose. Maybe there's you're submitting maybe something for maybe it's like, because some journal they also call for submission. You have to be able to really tell them clearly. Or if the paper was, because sometimes you already submitted a paper to a different journal and then they rejected your paper, so but you are trying to submit it to a different journal. So what you do, you have to tell them clearly in the cover letter that your paper you submitted to this journal and they rejected your paper. That's why you are trying to you're trying to transfer it to this, like, to that very journal. So they will know that you submitted that paper, they rejected it, so you're trying your luck to submit to a different journal. That's very important. And then also the quality, the structure. And then also, with the literature review, you can have so many literatures. Students have you can gather so many literature as possible. But the other thing is, they have to make sense. You find someone maybe having maybe 200 something, but you cannot, in most cases, you cannot use all of them, So you have to make sure that you try to summarize, you just pick the one which is the key, aligned with your keywords only. And the clarity matters a lot and should be precise and conscious, And then also the quality, talking about the quality of sometimes if you're using the graphs, or you're using any kind of statistics, the clarity, the visual clarity and the consistency have to be there. Because some students, when they get some other maybe graphs from some other bodies, for instance, UNESCO, a database from UNESCO, so you find something you want to, some of them they just want to copy, they just want to copy, or they just want to get a screenshot of that graph, and then they paste in their work. So that one, sometimes even the reviewers will say this is not correct, because it's not, maybe it will not be very clear, So the clarity, the visual clarity is very important and should be relevant. And then also, I'm just going very fast because we are going to the website. So I will show you from the website clearly. This is just the overview of what I'm going to do in the website. Also the referencing. The first one, the referencing style. Most of the journals, I think most of them they use APA, but others also so many different referencing style. So you have to be very, like, you find students using they're mixing it up because they get it from those database. They're not aware that maybe this one is they'll use MLA. They don't know. Yeah, and then also the paper, they put the citation, like the index is there, but in the down there on the references it's not there. So sometimes the reviewers will always want to see that you cite it in the index, and then also the references, the last part. And then also some of them, they also want to, for instance, maybe you already published some papers, you published maybe one or two, but you're writing again another one, and then you want to cite yourself, citing yourself. In other words, they don't advise you to be citing yourself unless it is necessary, because otherwise they will say it's a kind of a plagiarism, So the citation have to be very clear. Even if you have you're using someone ideas, it's really very important that you cite the work of that person. And then you have to prepare for review, because after you have submitted your paper, the reviewers will what? The reviewers will they will go through your paper, and also you can also track your paper online, timely response, and then also some kind of transparency in reporting, data sharing, and then handling rejections. Okay, I want to talk about this part of rejection. For me, just this year, today is the 20th, but I already got like maybe around 3 rejections. So if you want to be in this academia, you should take it out positive. Rejection is just something normal in academic writing, you know. So you should know how best you can handle these things, because when they write to you rejections, some people they want to reply with maybe like this kind of messages. No, those things are normal. Just work on the comments, and then you can resubmit again, or you can try another journal. It's not the end of what of life in publication. You can try another area. Okay. This part of the journal and publishers. Okay, we have found this is something this is very serious, and I think we will take much time. We will take some time here about the predatory journals. Uh, we have seen like even me myself. The first time when I submitted my paper online, I didn't know about maybe predatory journals. What. I didn't know about it. So, for most of the students that they want to really publish their papers, it's very important before you submit your paper anywhere. You should know that these predatory journals exist. These predatory journals are basically talking about the journals that they even their peer review process is not comprehensive. For them, they are just money minded. They were just wanting to pay money. They don't even go through your work. Even if you submit your work, sometimes they just publish it because they want to get money from you. So you have to know that this journal is a predatory one, or this publisher is a predatory publisher. Publishers. There are so many of them. If you go online, you find even so many big people that are published in those kind of journals. So you publish now, but at the end of it all, sometimes you'll have some negative impact in your academic journey. It may not be now, but maybe in the future it can cause some problems. So you have to avoid this kind of problems. So I want us to go on this website and see, because this is a link. You can copy you can copy it. I can even put it on the what comment section. You can see. So I want us to see like can I give you some example of some example of this journal. Okay. I'm trying to copy this so that we can go online and look at those journals. Trying to copy. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. We can see it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this is a bare list of potential predatory journals and publishers. So now, I'm going to send it in the chat box. This one. So if any journal or any publisher that you maybe like you want to maybe try to publish your paper, you can just come on this website and then just type the name there. It will show whether it's a predatory journal or it's not a predatory journal. For instance, I have this publisher, this one. Let's see if it's among the predatory one. Because the moment if you find the name here, it means that this publisher or this journal is among the predatory journal. Let's try this one and we see. Carry. Let's search for it. to be down here. Okay, this is curry. So when I search for this one, is here. You know, you can see it, right? So this is a publisher. This is a predatory publisher. So if the journals that are here under this publisher, all of them, it means that they are what? All of them are predatory journals. You should not publish your paper here because, first of all, it is not recognized by so many institutions. So you cannot publish your paper there. And then also, let's see if for the journal, because this is just a publisher. Let's look at the journal, this one. Let's click here, journal. Then you can also write, this is education. Sorry, wait. Education and practice. Then you search for it. So you don't find it. You don't find it here. You cannot find it because it's not the predatory journal. And then also, if you check again for education, there's a journal called education. You see this because okay, most of these predatory journals, you find them like for instance, there's a journal called education. This is by published by Springerling, but it's not predatory one. But for them, they just write when they want to when they want to confuse the authors. They just put something like, for instance, international. If the journal, the good one or the quality one which is recognized is education, they just put international something, or they just add on top of this one. You see, so it just confuses you. You may not know. You may not know. And this is the updated one, or 2024. So you have to be very careful so that you can avoid this kind of publishing the wrong journal. So that's what I would like to say on that part. Can go back here. So that is about the predatory journals and then predatory publishers. So this is the process of a paper submission. After you have already prepared your paper. There are processes, or there are steps. Because it's not a one-day thing. It's not a one-day thing. So there are a lot of processes. That's why some papers take like maybe 1 year, 6 months, 9 months, because these are reputable journals. That's why they take so long. The process is a bit long. So after you're prepared, you have gone all the processes on the journal. You know, then you can submit your paper. The moment you submit your paper, the editor, they will check on like the journal aims and the scope, the academic tone and the style, consistency, the paper format. Before, and then also for plagiarism, before they can submit your paper for blind review, for peer review, they will check all these things first. That's why some people are rejected at the first step. They're rejected at the first step. Not even the paper cannot be taken for blind review because of what? Because of a lot of problems. So there's already a mistake that they have first to correct it before it can be submitted. And then after after you have passed this step of from the editor, then you have to submit it to the editor can request these three authors to review your work. So they will review your work, and then if sometimes they can accept, sometimes they can reject. So it will depend. So if your paper is rejected, it will be taken back. But if they accept, sometimes they accept it without any problem. But others, they will accept with some kind of minor revision. Others with major revision, you know. So you have to, they will advise you. Maybe there are some other things that you need to correct. Then what? You submit. Again, after you have collected this with this revision, you are done with this one, you can submit it again. The reviewer will the editor will again review it. Then they send it for publication. Or if they accept it straight away from these three reviewers, then they just go straight away to publication process, and then they will publish your paper. So with this, I'm going to the one of the journal website now, and then we see like how we can submit our paper, because this is just the overview of how best you can submit the paper. And then also, since I am from education field, I have chosen one of the journal in education field. So we can go there and see how you can submit. You can navigate the website. Okay, this is a journal of higher education. This is journal of higher education.
We cannot see
my screen.
Yeah, the PPT is still showing the flow chart of the submission process.
Yes, you need to change over the sharing. You need to share the journal, the website.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, it's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, now we can see it.
So this is one of the among the top journals is index SSCI journal of education. So this is the publisher Springer Nature Link. So now when you access the, after you already identified that, okay, I already prepared my manuscript and I want to submit it to this journal. So the thing, when you come on this website, the thing that you need to know, because for instance, if someone may propose for you, okay, because your paper is maybe in university or technical something, they can advise you to go to this journal. But before you submit your paper, you have to come to the website and read it clearly. So the moment you open this website, the first thing that you need to know is what you should be able to know the aims and the scope of this of this journal. That is the first thing, because if you submit, that's why I said that some people they are from engineering, but they're submitting it in a journal of language something. So they will just reject your paper. If the journal is a good journal, they will reject you. But if it's a predatory journal, then because they want your money, they can even publish your engineering thing, in the language journal. So this is the aims and scope. So they say that education is a leading international journal dedicated to advancing knowledge in the field of education studies. So now you come here and say, okay, they said that they're working in maybe the publishes 12 issues annually. So it means every month. So universities, polytechnics, colleges, and institutions worldwide. So addressing the challenges faced by researchers, teachers, institutional leaders, policy makers in higher education sector. So the key thing is higher education. Which they'll talk about colleges, polytechnics, and universities in the education field. So you have to know that one very clearly. If you already know this one, then you may even have your you just have a paper, then you start writing. If already it has passed that's what the aims and the scope. And then also they said we particularly welcome the following types of contributions. This is also very important. They said they welcome empirical research studies that are across nationals or conceptual in scope, that involve data sets, such as data from multiple institutions. We have extended time periods. Then also the historical synthesis and policy studies. And then also some part of historical studies that offers significant conceptual and methodological advances in the international higher education literature. And then conceptual-based studies that are not primarily empirical, including the theoretical discussions, exploration, methodological issues. So these are the kind of things that you read before you do anything on the website. And then also there are also some other submissions for the authors. They even said here clearly that this is for authors, clearly. So you come here on the submission guidelines and also read. You click here and read. So this is the said instruction for authors. You need to read all this one, the general, the manuscript submission, book reviews, instruction for a special issue, contract for permission, editorial what, a procedure, title page, text, all these ones. They also have their own way of what? The referencing, how you should upload the tables also different. So these journals, they're different. So they have their different formats. So you have to know all this one before you can submit your paper. Otherwise, you'll be rejected. So all these steps. And then they said the general instruction for authors. You should also read this one. Should also read this one and be acquainted with it so that you don't make a mistake. And then also the language editing, because sometimes you want to submit your paper, you're from a French-speaking maybe country, but you want to submit your paper maybe to English journal. So sometimes there could be some issues with English or language. You know, they say they also offer somewhat some kind of editing, but I think this one you have to be also pay for it. So you can, if you have any problem and you want the service from them, they can also provide the service to you. Because they said the price is based on the word count and start as low as what? 87. This is dollars. So it depends on you if you want it or you don't want. Sometimes it also helps you. Sometimes you have the content, but the way you are put it in writing is a problem. So they also sometimes they want to help you and what? They want to help you and you can publish the paper. So it's upon you whether you can do it. If you cannot write, you can also ask them for the help. Then you go back again and the ethics, because and then there's some people they just some scholars they just maybe they want to take for maybe plagiarism and all that. So they also some other guidelines on ethics that you need to follow as an author or someone who is trying to submit to that journal. So they said that the journal is committed to maintaining highest level of integrity in the content published. So you have to read all this. They said that to comply with the international and national and all institutional standards of research reporting, this is particularly important for studies involving human. Because if you, like for instance, if you conduct, you have to recognize, you have to acknowledge, because maybe you have interviewed some people, you have used some data, some participants, like some data from maybe, for instance, UNESCO, World Bank, something like that. You have to what? You really have to acknowledge here on your papers, because they are trying to avoid those things of plagiarism also. So it's very, very important. Because if you interview me, you should acknowledge my contribution in your work. I cannot just give you information and then you fail to acknowledge my work. Sometimes, for instance, a thesis, universities give go ahead for students. You know, they give a lot of acceptance to go and conduct research. Like even if you go to your country, even some ministries, like for instance, when I was doing my master's, I went back home to collect data. I went to the ministry. They gave me acceptance letter to go and collect data. You cannot just go and just go as if it's your place. No, it's not yours. You have to consult the relevant authorities so that you're given permission to collect your data. And then they also said how to publish with us. All these ones are very important. I know it's time consuming, but you need to follow all this one if you want to really succeed in publishing a paper, a good quality paper in a SSC journal or SCI journal. You have to adhere by all these ones. So they say they have the publishing options. Let's look at what they're saying. Publishing options. Okay, they said some students they may not be able to pay by themselves. Others may be able to pay. So you can put your paper can be open access. Then you pay the article processing charge, which is APC. You have to pay by yourself. Or there is this one. You can also for them also there's you can if you don't know if you're not able to pay, then they can publish for you, but it will not be open access. So those are the two options, and I think it's good because we students in most cases students they don't have money to pay because some of the journals are very expensive, maybe $2,000 or $3,000. You may not be able to pay by yourself. So if I told the accept your paper, you can go by this option of them publishing for you, that it will not be open access. So I think that is also very good. Yeah, this is the funding. So you see, this I said the APC, the current this the APC is 2,290. This is euros. So this one is it's not easy. A student who is at school cannot pay this one by his or herself. It's difficult to pay. So it's that's sometimes you go for closed access. So that you can just publish your paper, and then yeah, I think that's the only option that you can have. And then also you can also contact the journal. You can contact them. Maybe you need to inquire something directly from the journal. They also have some portal that you can also access them, and you can also track your paper after you already submitted. And then also, if you want to, because the previous speaker was talking about if you want to know that maybe how long the paper has taken, like maybe the review process, you can also go back here. Okay, let's go back here.
So we have like 10 minutes left.
Okay, maybe because of time, let's go to the process of submission. So this is the process of submission. So now, if you come here, if you click on this page, you have to come to submit new manuscript. And then they say the article type. So here you have to choose if it's the original research, you have to mark this one. You can just click on the first one. If it's a book review, you can click on this one. If it's a review article, you can click on this one. Then response to previous paper, you can also click on this one. For this case, let's use the original research. Then we can proceed. And then here they want you to attach the files. But here there are two things. They want you to submit a paper, a manuscript without the author's details, and then another one with the author's what details. So now when you come here, you have to browse because they said attach the files. You can come here, you browse it. So for this case, I'm going here. Okay, this is where I've saved mine. Okay. Moment. Okay, this is manuscript with what author's detail. I click here. I can sub. Then I can open it. So this is the title page with author's what contact information, and it has come here again. You have to go again and browse again so that you can submit another one with the what with the authors with the full manuscript. Yeah, this one. Then you can now upload. Okay, this you see this is a problem here. Instead of me putting, because here we are supposed to put it from here, we're supposed to like to change it from here because the item type is different. The one I submitted first, it was the title page with the author's contact detail information. But again, I forgot to put. I was supposed to change it from here. You know, you can put it blinded manuscript, or you can also put it that manuscript with what with author's information, author's details, or the full manuscript. So if I change this one, it means I have to delete this one because it will not work. Otherwise, I will not be able to submit. You have to remove this one, then you submit the correct one, correct file. So I've already put here the manuscript blinded. So I can go back here and submit the correct one. Okay, this one. So you see all the two files are here. So since the two files are here, you can now proceed. You can proceed with what? With their submission. So you see here, it has ticked this part. It means this part was successful. And then you have to add the same classifications. You have to add the classification. You can just come and click on add classifications. It will take you. Yeah, it depends. Like for this case, research method. It depends on the one you're interested in. Then for this, let's click on research method. This one. Sorry. You can add, but let's add this one just for the sake of maybe trying to solve to some people how to submit. Then you can submit it here. Then you can also again proceed from here. So this is why they said you have to be like, you should not lie to them. If the manuscript is for them, they said please state the number of words. You have to be honest. If the number of words, for instance, is 500, you should say 500. This one for the previous paper that I submitted here. So let's use the first one. So it should be, if it's 500, say 500. Don't say 400, because they will take it. They will send it back to you. So then the question is, this article under consideration elsewhere? So you have to choose to say no. And then there's as this version previously been published elsewhere. Then you say no. If it's no, it's not compulsory. You should say no. If you publish it somewhere, you should also tell them that yes. So then they ask, please select a response. I understand. Okay, like you have read all this information. You just come and click on this one. Then you can proceed. The next step is enter comments. If you want comments, please enter additional comments you would like to send to the publication office. These comments will not appear directly in your submission. You can just write anything here. Maybe you said maybe I'm eager to, you can just write I'm maybe eager to submit my paper here, something like that, just for the case of submission.
I have to graduate quickly.
Yes. So you can just write anything here because it's required. Otherwise, you will not be able to. You will not be able to submit. Then you can proceed. So yeah, they're trying to load some information. But here, I think because it's like it will make a submission to the journal, and it will not be good for us to submit like this, because like this is a paper that they said okay, I'm able to export information. They want me to submit it, like to put this on manually. So here, just because of time, when this is the full title, the title of the paper, you can just copy and paste it here, this side. Then you can come again and click on the abstract. Abstract, you can also copy the abstract and paste it here. Then the keywords, you can also copy and paste it here. And then the authors, here the authors' information have to be there. If you are publishing paper and you have 4 of them, you have 4. Make sure that you write all the four authors on the first day, the first time submission when you're submitting your paper. Otherwise, they will not accept you to add people's name after you already submitted or after they already accepted to publish the paper. You know, so you have to be very careful here. And then you write all the authors. And then the last part here is about it's about the funding. If there's any funding, you should also tell them. If there's no funding, then you can just say no, because they'll give us that option of saying no. And then you can come here, and then you can build your PDF for approval. You can build your PDF here for approval. How you have done all this one, then you can build your PDF for approval. Then they will generate the PDF for you. Then after generating, then you can submit. To like this journal. So this is basically how you submit in this kind of journal. Because others even more complicated than this one in other fields. Because I've received so many complaints from some students in different fields about submitting to this kind of journal. So this is how I've managed to submit my paper here in this journal. And I think yeah, you can also do the same to submit. If you have any question or if you want to, because for me, I talk too fast. That it's not like I intend to do it, but it's something natural. It's very difficult to control. That's why most people always find it a problem, unless you're attentive and you can really pick my words. Otherwise, it's not easy. So I also ask for forgiveness in that regards. So that is basically how. Now that's how basically you can submit your paper.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I will come. if there are any questions or there's something
Yeah,
that
so let's
yeah.
take 2 questions at most.
Yes,
Let's take 2
yeah.
questions at most, and then we'll wrap it up. But for those of you that don't have question, you can send your feedback, like thank you, appreciation, whatever emoji, love emoji you have, you can share it for our speaker. So let's take the person whose microphone is unmuted. You can go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Doc, for the presentation. Because my own concern is with the dailies you mentioned. So, from your explanation, I want to understand that if you want to publish to any journal, you first have to check for the dailies, right? If it is not among this one, then we should not publish there, right? Is that what you are suggesting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's take the second one from Lucas. You asked the first time. Let's give this Emmanuel Chia a chance, and then we come back to you. Emmanuel Chia. If Emmanuel is not there, then Lucas, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a couple of questions. First, with predatory journals, which is very important in academic research because one might have plenty of publications, but if they are not of high impact, it's not important compared to someone who has few journals but with high impact factor. So now you didn't make mention of impact factor with regards to predatory journals. The question is it possible for a journal to have a high impact factor but a predatory journal? The second question is based on the preprint, because most journals, when you are submitting, at the end of the submission process, they will ask you if you want to submit your submission as a preprint or not. So is it advisable to submit your submission as a preprint wherein other journals that you have not submitted it so they can view it and then say we are going to accept it or not? So is it advisable to submit your paper as a preprint or it's not advisable? The last question is with regards to, you made mention of like, if your article is rejected and you want to submit it to another journal, it is important to tell them that this article has been rejected to ABC XYZ journal. So what is the rationale behind doing that? So these are the 3 questions. Thank you.
Okay, so what we do, because of time, I don't think there'll be much time to address all of the concerns. So if you are also in the WeChat group, he's there. I will also share his contact with you, but let him just answer one of the 3 questions, and then we have to probably wrap it up. If he still wants to be here at the end of the official time, then he can also answer some of your concern after the official program. So maybe now you can just answer one of your questions, and then we can do the attendance. For those that have to leave, they can leave, and then we can spend most time here.
Okay, thank you so much for the 3 questions that you asked me. I want to react on them because we don't have much time. The first one, talk about the high impact factor. Some journal, because it's a predatory journal, they just put some because there's a journal that I checked online. You find it's having something like 5.7 the impact factor. But when you go on like to check for the predatory list, you find that journal is there. You know, so it's not a must that it's not important. Like sometimes it's not important about the impact factor. Some of them are predatory journal. You know. But because they just want to escape, they want to confuse they want to confuse the authors. That's why they do those kind of things. So I don't advise just publish, because in sciences, some of them they have the impact factor. Some of them are low, but they are good. They are quality journals. So you have to what you should know is that you should check on the list. If they are not on the list, you can just publish. Don't mind. Just check if they are not on the list on that one, on the predatory journal. You can publish there. Then talk about the preprint. Okay. I don't advise. I don't advise. For me, I don't advise because I don't even want to like submit my paper as a preprint. It's not good. Some some people they will just copy your work, and even some of the reviewers, the reviewers, some of them they just reject your paper, then they can use your paper, they can publish, they can just add something, and then they publish your paper, or it's just exposed online there, someone can just use your information. I don't advise people to what to just to submit the paper as preprint. I don't know. It's good when you be open and tell them that the paper was rejected maybe because of this and that, so that they can advise you correctly, like appropriately. If you can improve, they can just advise you. That's why it's very important. You have to be frank to yourself, be open and tell them that this is the problem that I have. They rejected my paper, so I decided to transfer it to this journal. So how best you can look at how best they can help to work on that paper or on that mistake. So I advise you can submit your paper. Tell them, be open to them. Don't add anything from them. They can give you some guidelines. Thank you very much.
So tell them don't hide anything from them. That was the words from Honorable Charles and Academician Charles. Thank you so much for being here. We highly appreciate you. So the participants, please, you can turn on your cameras. Let us. You can stop sharing. Participant, you can turn on your cameras. Let's do the attendance. After the attendance, then you can leave if you want to leave. The videos will be posted on TRT YouTube channel by the end of today. So you can also go there and rewatch. Let us do the attendance now. You probably don't know which screen you are on, so please just stay in that position. I might also, and you can stop sending comments for now, because it might probably cover somebody's name. From experience, somebody might not find themselves in the attendance. So please don't send any text for now. Let us do the attendance quickly. When I'm done, I will let you know, because we have 200 people here. So once I'm done, I will let you know that I'm done with the attendance, and then we can call it a day. But meanwhile, I just want to say thank you so much for joining today. You technically have 4 days to go. The records will also be shared on Zoom. I mean, on the video that we shared. So in case you don't see yourself in the attendance record that will be sent to the group, you can just go to YouTube and cross-check. Probably we made a mistake, or there was a transition in the time we're taking the attendance. So the YouTube will also clarify that was. So in order to get the certificate, you need 5 of the 6 days, or you can do all of the 6 days. That will also be great. Don't forget also to start forming your team for the discussion that we have on the last day. If you want to participate in that, we'll share the topic, and probably the winner, or those are the audience we actually think that they're better, we might do something for them. But we don't know yet. So if you are not in the group, you have to join, because the attendance record I'm taking will be shared in the group, in the WhatsApp group or in the WeChat group. So if you are not there, you won't be able to see it. We cannot send it through email now. It's going to be too much of sharing. Guess what? We got 2 more to go. And if you want to stay, if you still have other questions or other things you want to understand, you can stay and ask.
Yeah, one more. I'm just coming. I went offline.
Just wait. Bear queue. Let me finish with this one, and then you have all the time to ask. I'll be here probably for a few minutes to entertain other questions.
Alpha Barry, why are you smiling now?
Okay, let me take this one quickly. Sorry for the delay. I want to try to do this better, because when people don't see themselves in attendance, you're like, this guy. After all the time that I spent, they didn't put me in the attendance. They're so biased.
Yeah, nice to meet
Try to
you.
use all kind of English on you. Okay, one more, please. One more.
Okay.
You're waited for taxi, you're waited for buses. Just wait for 1 minute. No problem. Yeah. You're waited for your Y result, you're waited for your HSK result. So just wait 1 minute. Okay. So let me just okay, let me run it through the video one time. 1, 2.
Hello, are you done with the attendance, sir, please?
I'm coming. 5, 6.
So CEO, are we going to
7.
call our names, or you just going to see
No,
it
no,
from
no,
the
no.
attendance?
I'm doing it from my end. You don't have to call name.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I'm good. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, if you want to leave now, officially, you can leave. I'm going to stop recording so that this